today I'm going to break out my Bundle Monster Facial 4-pack of sponge applicators, and I'm going to compare them to the Beauty Blender that I purchased from Sephora. I've been using this for about a month now. I absolutely love it. I love the way it applies foundation. And the way you apply foundation is you just completely soak the sponge and then wring it out. Well, just sort of squeeze all the liquid out. What I do is I pour or I pump foundation onto the surface of my hand, and then I just stamp the moist Beauty Blender onto it, and then I stipple it onto my face. Concealer goes, I would put my concealer onto my eyes and then roll it out until it's completely blended, but it just gives you a really flawless and natural looking finish. So I absolutely love the Beauty Blender. So I'm going to apply foundation today using the Bundle Monster, and this I purchased from Amazon. I believe that I paid $10.99 for it. The company is based somewhere in Hawaii. I decided that I wanted to have a lower cost alternative than, say, the Target Sonia Kashuk one. That one still was pretty expensive for the one sponge. I believe it's $8 to $12. This pack here you're getting 4, so I'm going to open it up. You get 4 different colors, 2 of the same shade. Here's a blue one, and this yellow one that looks a little bit like the Beauty Blender, a pink one, and a purple looking one. It looks like the egg-shaped ones are about the same size as this Beauty Blender. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I dropped that one. I'll go ahead and open this yellow one and see what it's like. First off, I can see that the texture of it is quite different from the Beauty Blender. It is a lot more dense and hard than the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender is very soft and it feels really nice against your skin. This right here is a little bit harder. I would say it's much harder. I don't know how to describe it. It almost feels like there's just so much more sponge in this Monster Bundle sponge than there is in the Beauty Blender. It's a lot harder to squeeze down than, can you see that? Beauty Blender is really easy to squeeze down, whereas the Bundle Monster is not. Now I'm going to run these quickly underwater to see what they look like. The Beauty Blender gets substantially larger. Okay, they both grow quite large in size. It looks like Bundle Monster might have grown just a little bit larger than the Beauty Blender. Let me pick up the one that I dropped so we could compare size. So that's the size originally, and then this is what it grows to. Substantially larger. And then here it is compared to the Beauty Blender. I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation. So I put way too much foundation on my hand, but I am going to take the Monster Bundle and just stamp it on, and then just stamp it onto my face like I would the Beauty Blender. Okay, one thing that I'm noticing right away is that because it's not as spongy, it's a little bit harder to get into the little spots like right there where my nose is. The Beauty Blender would mold to my nose a lot better. So that makes it a little bit difficult. I'm gonna have to get up close to my mirror to see how cakey or not cakey this is looking. So here's my face, and I'm not sure about the shadows, but let me try and position it so you can see. This side has foundation. It looks like there's a shadow, but I'm just not sure how that is coming across. So This is a side that I use the Monster Bundle with. You know what? I'm going to apply foundation with the Beauty Blender on the other side. Okay, the Beauty Blender just pushes into my face really nicely. So if you look at the two at the same time, the Beauty Blender just pushes product into your face, into your crevices, whereas this one just kind of like pushes your face. Definitely not a dupe. But I really like how the Beauty Blender just pushes product into your face. Feels really nice on your face too when you dab it. This one was a little bit hard, and I'm not a... Do you see? Okay. Anywho, so I think I'm pretty good with my foundation. I feel like both sides gave pretty similar finishes. Maybe the Monster Bundle side gave a slightly heavier coverage and slightly cakier finish than the Beauty Blender did. I'm going to put some sort of concealer on underneath my eyes and see how that works out. So I'm just going to put concealer on both sides, and I'm going to do Beauty Blender on my right and Monster Bundle on my left. Okay, I'm going to use my Beauty Blender. Okay, that's how it ended up looking. What are my opinions on it? I definitely think, let me go put the rest of my makeup on and I will come back with my opinions while I think about them while I apply the rest of it. So I've put the rest of my makeup on and I've had a little time to think about what I think about the Monster Bundle sponges and the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender is definitely the one that I prefer of the two. When you apply foundation, it really gives way, so it feels nice and soft when you're pressing it against your face. Whereas the Monster Bundle is really quite hard to push down on. It's a much denser feel and it feels like a different type of material. Another thing that I wanted to say about this is that it looks like the Beauty Blender, I don't know what you want to call them, the holes or the pores of the sponge mimic more like what you would expect skin to look like. So maybe when you're pressing foundation into your skin, it's actually leaving an imprint that is somewhat like your skin. Whereas the Bundle Monster has more of a large cratery looking surface. So it might not give you that skin-like finish after it's done imprinting onto your face. Hope that makes sense. Another thing about the Beauty Blender as compared to the Monster Bundle is the egg-shaped one has a really pointy top. I actually like that better about the Monster Bundle because the pointy top allows you to get into small areas like your under eye here, whereas you still can with a Beauty Blender, but it's just not as precise because it doesn't come to quite the point. I actually feel like the Bundle Monster blended the concealer part of my under eye a little bit better than the Beauty Blender. So there are pros and cons about each. Obviously, the Beauty Blender is really quite pricey, and to me, it doesn't really look like it's gonna hold up because it's a much softer material. So from the beginning, I always felt like this was not a durable tool, that it's something that would have to be replaced. I can just tell, I feel like it could break apart. So that's what bummed me out and compelled me to try to search for some sort of dupe. The Bundle Monster does feel a lot more durable and squishy. It actually reminds me of the feeling of a stress ball because it's quite difficult to squeeze in comparison to the Beauty Blender. The Bundle Monster comes with 2 different shapes and 2 of each shape and different colors as well. Also retails for $10.99. You're getting a lot more product with the Bundle Monster. However, the result seems to be better for foundation with the Beauty Blender, but for concealer, I actually preferred the Bundle Monster. So I guess you could go either way. They're quite different. They're not a dupe for each other, but if you've been wanting to try some sort of sponge type thing and you don't want to take the plunge with the Beauty Blender yet, maybe the Bundle Monster is something you can take a look at. I hope you found that useful, and thanks for watching. Bye.